I'm Madison Soriano, and you're watching WUFT News. Thank you for tuning in. I have your summer 2020 recap in less than 3 minutes.
The Grace Market campgrounds are not open to the public or the media because many of the people that live there are immune compromised.
COVID-19 has heavily affected the wedding industry. According to Bridebook, 64% of weddings will be canceled or postponed due to the virus.
If I'm not out here, then I'm not doing my job. So that's why I'm here, because I want to stand up for myself, my friends, and my future.
Sarah Vitale, a Naples native, marched in the rain at the Black Lives Matter protest on June 2nd in Naples, Florida. Vitale was joined by over 100 other protesters at the Naples courthouse. Black Lives Matter protests have marched in cities across the world since the death of George Floyd in May. The red and blue flashing lights of police cars and the whirling helicopter above acted as a beacon to the protest. Police began to block the protesters from marching, and 20-year-old Darren Sherry took initiative to help the protest continue on.
We want the bridge. We want the bridge, all right?
There was only one cop that actually cooperated with me to move the police officers back. And I'm very grateful for him. And you gotta realize it's not all cops.
Eventually, the police moved backwards, allowing the protesters to continue to march. As they marched, they yelled, "No justice, no peace." Sherry says he is fighting for change, equality, and the end of racism, and will continue to protest until change occurs.
I know we're all tired of this. It's time to take a stand. It's either now or never. So it really was an honor to have those people actually listening. So if it happens again, hey, I'm not backing down to the challenge.
Fellow protesters applauded Sherry for his leadership on Facebook after the protest. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People wants Sherry to lead their next local protest on June 12th.
Just, it's their homes. And I know people don't see it that way, but it's their homes, and it's traumatic.
Dignity Village, a homeless camp in Gainesville, formed in 2014 and was officially shut down in March. The plans to close Dignity Village started in 2017 between the county and the city commissions. According to Executive Director of Grace Marketplace, John DeCarmine, the camp had growing numbers of crime and violence, as well as perpetuating homelessness rather than helping those who lived there get off the streets.
Anytime a homeless camp is closed, most of the time it was done terribly. It was done with police, it was done with bulldozers, and it was done by showing up and telling people who'd lived there sometimes for years that they had 20 minutes to leave, to gather up everything that they had.
Grace Marketplace workers got involved in planning the closure to make it peaceful and humane. Abigail Perrette Gentile explains a year before the closure, outreach workers were hired to add people to a roster.
In the meantime, we were building a campsite at Grace Marketplace on our property for the people who weren't housed. Now, before Dignity Village shut down, we were able to house over half of the people.
A fence was built around the camp in February, and by March, it was officially closed. Any who tried to enter the camp would receive a fine for trespassing. Over 200 people lived in Dignity Village based off the roster, and now 41 remain waiting for housing on Grace campgrounds.
The Grace Market campgrounds are not open to the public or the media because many of the people that live there are immune compromised.
Since the closure of the camp, calls to the police have dropped dramatically.
The fact that there was crime out there is not reflective of who or what homeless people are. It is reflective of any time people are living in crisis. You end up with some people who are predatory, some people who are preyed upon. There is substance abuse and mental health out there, just like there is in the housed community.
According to DeCarmine, there were an average of 133 calls to police each month before the shutdown in 2020. After, there was an average of 63 calls to the Grace area. Homeless directors do fear that the pandemic may cause an increase in homelessness come January 2021. Newlyweds Chris and Paola Velasquez decided to get married despite having to change their wedding plans because of COVID-19. Their original plan was to have a rehearsal dinner, their wedding ceremony the following day, and a dinner afterward. Instead, the couple just had a ceremony with their priest, their dog, Palola's parents, and their photographer friend.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's what we really wanted, to be honest with you, but we felt bad because obviously you have to invite family or else at least family, because if not, they're going to get offended.
Chris's parents were unable to attend the wedding because they live in Florida. The wedding took place in a church in Texas. One unexpected twist to their wedding is that Paola decided not to wear her wedding gown.
Because of that, I kind of, for some reason in the moment like that, or that day, I just felt like I don't want to wear this big, because my dress, had the train and the veil and all that. And I was like, I don't know if I want to wear something like that when they're not there.
Instead, she wore a Bianca Jagger-inspired wedding outfit. Paola said Jagger is an icon to her, and so she pieced together an outfit from her closet and made a veil to go with her hat. Chris and Paola were one of the few newlyweds who continued with their wedding despite having to change their original plans due to COVID-19.